Good morning, afternoon, I think, actually. It's 12:30, Saturday 13th of December. I am having one of those days where my motto is, don't wanna. I just don't want to do anything today. I've done a little bit of knitting on my sock. Well, a fair amount of knitting, so Progress Keeper is there to where I'm up to. I've done today. I've caught up, I think, with almost all of my Vlogmases. I think I have 2 more to watch. I've just made myself my second cup of coffee for the day. Like I said, I'm not feeling it today. I've been saying that a lot, haven't I? But I think I wanted to have a little bit of a chat. This possibly will be all today's Vlogmas is. It's just a little bit of a chat because I want to know if you guys ever get the same, if you have any suggestions on how to combat the issue. Basically, it boils down to, through work with my therapist, we've realized that my mental health gets bad and my depression tends to pop up more when I don't have a routine. I've noticed, because I'm technically on holidays, I told myself I'd have December off from like actively making things for the shop, dyeing yarn, that kind of thing. And because I wanted to do Vlogmas, I thought I would, obviously I'd be better off having the month free to, you know, do stuff for YouTube. But without having a routine and having a plan for what I need to do, I tend to give in more to paralysis. And you probably have noticed that the last few days in the vlog, where I've spent a lot of time sitting right where I am right now, just knitting, watching YouTube. That is kind of my default space and pastime. And without a plan or a routine more is what my therapist has suggested. Is when I don't have a routine, I find myself slipping into rumination, feeling depressed, feeling unaccomplished because I don't see what I have achieved. So I might be like, yeah, I've like in the last 2 days knit from this point of the sock to this point of the sock. Like my brain doesn't register that as accomplishment. So I've kind of slipped into a rut, which is what I want to do when I don't have a routine or a plan of what I'm doing. So I get to the point where I think, rather than seeing freedom in spare time, I kind of see paralysis. And I know grey rocking is a what do you call it, psychological term where you don't react to somebody who's trying to bait you, but I feel like I'm grey rocking to myself, like I'm just sitting motionless like a rock instead of getting things done potentially around the house, cleaning up my craft room, going through my stashes. Like, there are things that I could be doing, but they don't come to mind, so therefore they're out of mind, if that makes sense. Like, I know if I had to sit down and write a list, I could do one, but in the moment when I'm like, what shall I do? My mind goes blank. You know what I mean? So I was watching one of Rainbow Ange on YouTube. She's been doing Vlogmas-ish. So she's not doing a video every day. She's recording bits and pieces of her December, and then once she has about half an hour of content, she'll make a video. And I noticed in one of her recent videos, she has a checklist, and she's even putting her craft projects on it. So like, it could be start slow cooker for dinner, go to the shop to buy whatever, but then she'll also have like half an hour working on my cross stitch, like, so that she can see very clearly what needs to be done and can tick it off as she goes through her day. And it's like, I historically have a love of lists and checking things off lists. However, it's getting myself to make the list that's the hard point. So I'm not entirely sure what the fix for that is. It's like, do I build a routine that includes sitting down for 10 minutes, not even probably 5 minutes every morning to write myself a list? Do you guys write lists? How do you, like, is any of this resonating? Does this sound familiar to anybody? How do you get through it? I have a love-hate relationship with routines, because it's like, I know they benefit me, and they give me focus and purpose in my day, because I can lose focus really quickly and get distracted and end up scrolling Instagram for half an hour, which I'm trying. Next year I'm going to be reducing my social media intake to the minimal. So if anybody likes to message me on Instagram or see me commenting on there more often, I'm probably not going to be doing that next year, because with everything that's going on in the world, especially seeing the human rights violations that are happening all over the place, it's really bad for my mental health to be looking at that, because I have a really strong like sense of justice, and I don't understand how people are allowed to get away with the level of cruelty that they are. And it just gives me, it makes me angry, but I'm impotent to do anything because obviously I have no control over world events. So it's just bad for my mental health. So I've decided 2026 is going to be the year of minimal social media. Facebook app is going to be off my phone. I should probably do that right now, because I mentioned that the other day. Instagram, I want it to be very specific. Like I can allot myself like say 20 minutes twice a day just to check in. My phone goes away. I'm even thinking of like taking my phone and putting it in a drawer somewhere, and just, if I want to take photos of the dog, I have my vlog camera. It's analog, it's a camera. I can take an actual photo. It doesn't have to be on my phone. Obviously, leaving the house, I'll still take my phone, etc. Like, and I just don't want to be beholden to a tiny computer that is within hand's reach. So that's next year's plan. But anyway, that doesn't help with, that's one of my patented Julieanne tangents. So getting back to like the routine thing, I have a love-hate relationship with them, because I know that they benefit me, and I know that I get more done if I do have a set time, a routine, a plan. But it's making the plan in the beginning is a struggle, and then also sometimes I really find myself rebelling against it, because it's like to me a plan and a routine is like something I should be doing. When it's something you should be doing, there's that sense of obligation, and like my brain is just like, I don't wanna, like, no, that's not for me, thanks. But I know ultimately it's going to be good. So it's like, how do I reframe in my brain the should into I want to? Like, I want to achieve this, not I should achieve this. That's kind of where I'm at, and I'm feeling like Vlogmas is going to get worse from here on out if I don't somehow get some inspiration. Like, even just my life, like once Vlogmas is over on Christmas Day, like past that point, I'm still going to be on holidays until Simon goes back to work in early January. So I just don't want to spend the entire holidays sitting on my ass and feeling bad about it, and knowing that there's so many other things that I could be doing and that I want to do and I need to do. I'm finding myself stuck, which is something that I find very often. I do find myself stuck. I get stuck in rumination. I get stuck in a physical place. I get stuck. Paralysis is like the #1 thing I'm fighting in my life most of the time. And I just really would love to hear how you guys, if you suffer something similar and if you identify with what I'm saying, how do you get past it? I'm really keen to hear if any of you have suggestions or advice, or even just commiserations will be accepted. That would be, to feel like I'm not alone would be lovely, because sometimes I do feel like I am just this weird person floating out in the void, talking to no one on a camera. And not that I'm lonely. That was not what my brain said. You're lonely, and it's like, no, I'm not. Like, I'm very happy with my own company, and I don't tend to feel the need to have a lot of company. Like, my dog is kind of all I need, and my husband. So I don't think it's a loneliness thing. I think it's just knowing that I'm not the only weirdo on the planet. But anyway, I think that's enough waffling for the minute. I might do my advent later. I'm even not that keen to get my advent out now that Sam's is finished. It's only mine, and I have photos of that. So yeah, I could just share the photos if I don't feel like pulling out my Advent. Anyway, I'm gonna finish my coffee and we'll see what happens this afternoon. Should maybe write down a list of projects that need to be finished or even properly started, like my 4-shaft loom down in front of me. I have it, the heddles are threaded, but I have not slayed the reed yet, so I can't do any weaving on that until the reed is slayed. Yeah, I've just got a big list of projects that are piling up while I'm spending time knitting socks, so maybe I'd do a life inventory. It's probably a good thing to do for December, isn't it? Life inventory, stash inventory. Brought a ton of fabric back from storage last week. Probably worth going through that, destashing some. But yeah, I'm gonna go and have a think, write a list, and hopefully I can come back to you guys with a bit more of a plan and some more focus. But yes, thank you for listening to me waffle. Sunday is the 14th of December. I know my days really well. I'm just up here in my craft room and I have been doing some spinning. I pulled out that Hilltop Cloud braid that I showed you guys the other day when I went through my fibre box. So it's Hilltop Cloud. And I have previously spun a braid of this. I think I mentioned that. I'm going to sit up a little bit. This chair is not desperately comfortable. It's Simon's computer chair. It's not really my thing, but anyway. I already spun a bobbin. I made a bobbin. I spun a bobbin of this a while ago, and it is so, I don't know how well you can see that, but it is so old that there's literally it's lost all of its spring. I don't really know how to deal with that, and I can't exactly ply it with my freshly spun yarn because it's going to be full of energy, whereas that is not. I previously have tried to look up info on that and was not very successful in finding anything to help me. In that case, I didn't need to ply that yarn other than on itself. I just plied it on itself and I ended up with a mostly usable yarn by the time it was plied and washed. But this one, because I wanted a big bumper skein of 200 grams, I think I'm going to be struggling, and I don't really want to. I mean, even if I just ply both bobbins back on themselves, there's no guarantee that the twist is going to match between the two skeins. And I'm thinking what I'm going to do, wasn't very successful in finding any tips on what to do with really yarn singles basically that have sat for probably years at this point. So there's no energy left, they've just... So what I'm going to do is I've gone and got a toilet paper roll. I am going to wind that bobbin of singles off onto the toilet paper roll, and I'm thinking I might try steaming it just to try and get some sproing back in the single, because I know if I washed it, it's gonna spring back. So I'm like, well, what if I steam it? Potentially that way I don't need to skein singles. I can potentially just have my little ball, chuck it in the steamer and see how that goes. That's going to be my first attempt anyway. If that doesn't work, then potentially I will go the skeining route. Yeah, I don't know, because I'm worried that if I skein it, I'll end up with a big tangled mess, which I guess could still happen doing it the way I'm thinking of doing it. But yeah, I'm not 100% sure I know what I'm doing, but I'm gonna have a go, because if I can get some sproing and energy back into this single, then I will be very happy to apply them together. I would say give me your best advice, but by the time you guys see this, I probably will have done what I'm doing. So feel free to call me an idiot in the in the comments if you would like to. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and wind this onto the toilet paper roll, and then, I mean, I'm probably not gonna get to steaming it until tomorrow, Monday, but again, by the time I've edited this video and I've uploaded the video and you guys have seen it, it probably will have occurred. So yeah, I guess commiserations or congratulations, I guess, if you know better than I do, down in the comments.